Bryan Lanza is the former deputy communications director for Trump's 2016 campaign. And Julian Epstein is a Democratic consultant and former chief counsel to the House Judiciary Committee Democrats. Thank you so much both for being here. Julian, I just got to get your reaction first. In this speech, former President Trump called America a third world country. He again criticized Harris's laugh, called her crazy, mocked her intellect, and said she was an incompetent socialist lunatic. Said the stock market is up only because voters think he'll win and will have a 1929 depression if he loses.
Yeah, well, the first thing is that the fact that he is in North Carolina is a bad sign for him. The Sun Belt swings were clearly in his corner a month ago, and now they are even, and Harris may even have a lead in a couple of them. But look, if Trump were to keep this campaign as a campaign on the issues, he would be doing much better, because the polls have all shown for months and months that the Democrats have not been popular on the issues, including the economy.
Exactly.
Most voters think that this has been a very, very bad economy with 20% under Biden. So if he were to make this a campaign on the issues, he would be doing a lot better, but he's not. He's making it a campaign on personality, and he's acting as the insult comedian. And when he starts talking about crowd sizes, and Kamala's crazy, and she's not really black, and she's a DEI candidate, sort of all of these things, that's turning off voters. He was ahead with independents a month ago by about 6 or 7 points. He's now behind by about 8 points. He's starting to lose bigger with women. Black voters are starting to come back to the Democratic Party. Everything he's done in the past 3 weeks has been very, very foolish, and that's why he's starting to lose.
Brian, former rivals Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, all these people, by the way, who really want Trump to win, are all on television this morning saying, Trump, stick to the issues, stop with the personal attacks. Why isn't he listening?
First of all, thank you for having me. Listen, I can't answer why he's not listening, but we certainly know what the pathway to success is. And it's what Julian said. It's stick to the economy, stick to immigration. Those are issues that are resonating with the American public. And by the way, those are issues that the American public have already passed judgment on. Yeah. There's a reason Joe Biden is not running for another term, because he got chased out of the race because his policies were fundamentally unpopular with the public. Those policies are Kamala Harris's policies, but they lean a little bit more to the left. They lean a little bit more to her roots of San Francisco liberals. So I suspect when we see her roll out her economic policy later this week, it's going to be nothing but a bunch of tax increases. It's going to be probably more tariffs, which President Trump also favors. But it's not going to be this optimistic look to the future, because you don't have to look too far to see what she's done as VP. The economy has bankrupted the middle class, has bankrupted the month-to-month homes, the month-to-month families. They're maxing out credit cards. Delinquencies are on a rise. It's not a great economic picture. So I always find it humorous when the left says we need to be joyous right now. The only ones being joyous are the 1%. Everybody else is suffering under this Biden-Harris economy.
Julian, polling has consistently shown that the economy is the top issue for voters by far, by a really big margin. Inflation, as of today, is now the lowest in 3 years. Is this a gift to the Harris campaign?
I don't think so, because the polls still show that the Republicans have the advantage on the economy. And things like the American Rescue Plan, which sent $2 trillion in the economy and gusher spending when it wasn't needed, has hyper-fueled inflation. That's a cross that the Democrats bear right now because of what I think was overspending and foolish spending. But look, Republicans should get smart people like Bryan around them, and should be making this a campaign on the issues. Donald Trump is fundamentally a grievance candidate. And that was fine because people were so dissatisfied with the Biden agenda and they disliked Biden. Biden was very unpopular. Harris is not unpopular like Biden was. She's more youthful. She's more telegenic. She is more positive. So when they make this the campaign, again, on personality, it's a very, very foolish thing for them. I don't think the Democrats win straight up if the campaign is about the economy. But Trump so far has shown a complete lack of discipline in being able to do that, and that's music to the ears of Democrats.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.